Hey guys, it's Marty and welcome to Two Line Slot Cars. This video is going to be my 5 things that have surprised me about the hobby of slot cars. I've been in the hobby for, I guess, about a little over 2 months. Now, my research about the hobby started back last fall, but it took me a few months to make a decision on what type of track I wanted. I really wanted to see what was out there, but I feel like I've learned a lot. And since I started this YouTube channel, I really wanted to make videos that helped beginners like me get into the sport of, or the hobby of slot cars, and prevent them from making a lot of mistakes. Now, so this is going to be my top 5 things that have surprised me, maybe that I wasn't expecting about slot car racing for the home hobbyist. So let me start with number 1. Number 1 is the cost of entry. Listen, I've been involved in a few different types of racing in my lifetime. I raced RC cars pretty serious a long time ago, and that quickly got out of hand. Anytime speed is involved, money is involved. And to go fast, you have to spend a lot of money. And I realized quickly that I was going to have to keep buying new equipment, buying new cars, just to stay competitive. And that was just at a small local track. And the one thing I've realized about slot cars over the last couple months is that it's a relatively inexpensive hobby to jump into. Like, really, if you look hard, for under $300, they're out there, new starter kits, new starter sets. And if you go analog, you can get even into it even cheaper, right? That is really inexpensive. So you could build a decent track. Let's just say you go digital, you can spend $280, $350 in that range for a really nice starter set, and maybe buy a set of straights and have, a 30, 35 foot track. And that, you could live with that for a really long time. I mean, I think you could be entertained and really happy with that layout. You get a couple cars with the setup, and that's relatively inexpensive for an opportunity to go fast, right? Grab a friend and race and be competitive and have a ton of fun. I've done a lot of other hobbies where the cost of entry was so much more than that. So I've been impressed with that you can make it as expensive as you want. If you want to continually buy cars and build a collection of slot cars, build a large layout, add borders, all those things, it can get relatively expensive pretty quick, like any hobby. But that point of entry is it impressed me just how easy it is to get into the hobby. So that's 1. 2, digital racing. Now, I made a decision to go digital because when I was a kid, I had an analog track. I actually started with my uncle gave me a slot car track to borrow for a little bit of time when I was really little. And then when I was about 10, I got a TCR, Total Control Racing, which is not really a slot car track. It is a slotless track. And I had a wonderful time with that track. But going digital and going to 1/32 scale was a big jump. And I have to say that I'm super impressed with digital. I wanted to be able to have a fairly small layout in my basement, but still have the opportunity to race with 4, 5, 6 people. And digital was the only way to do that. And so I really, I wanted to go that route. I am super impressed with lane changers and the ability to change lanes and pass on the track, run multiple people. We've had a few nights where we've had 4 or 5 people, and it's kind of chaos on the track, and it is so much fun. I'm really enjoying that. So like today, my friend John Mark, my brother Dusty, and my dad came over. A few weeks ago, I bought my dad one of the new C8 Corvettes, and he finally was able to come over and race it tonight. And we had so much fun. And I think that if it was an analog track, we would have had just as much fun. But the fact that we could all be on the track together, racing, trash talking each other, that was really fun. And so I really like digital racing for that reason, and that has really impressed me. Number three reason, or the number three thing that has impressed me about this hobby, the hobby of slot cars, is the detail in the cars. This is my first slotted car, one of my favorite cars of all time. This is the Ford GT40, and I've beat it up pretty good on my track, learning to tune this thing, but the detail is incredible. 1/32 scale. I just love it. The Audi, my Audi R8. I love this car too. It's a lot of fun, but just the detail. I've already broken the wing off and I'm missing a mirror and things like that. But the detail is amazing. These companies, Carrera and Slotted, and I don't own any other brands yet, but I'm sure that everybody is making really cool cars, and the detail is just fantastic. So that was really what surprised me. I mean, growing up with HO cars and tracks, I wasn't really super impressed with the detail in those cars, mainly because they're so small. I didn't have an expectation of detail. But I mean, don't even get me started. This is my friend John Mark's 1/24 scale. This is incredible. And once we get some borders, we'll probably start racing 1/24 scale. But like the detail in this is even, it's even better than the 1/32 scale. So I'm super impressed with that. Number four, being a digital track, I bought the Bluetooth adapter and I downloaded the Smart Race app. And I have to say that just racing around the track is fun when we just do a practice session. But what the software brings to the table by helping you manage a race, timing your laps, giving you scale speed on the screen, be able to announce the races, it takes slot car racing to a whole new level. And a whole new entertainment factor for me. When people ask me, when they see a post on Instagram or Facebook, and I post about my slot cars, I get a lot of questions from people. One is like, how old are you and why are you playing with toys? All right, I'm secure enough in myself that I don't get shook. My wife is the one who asks me that all the time. But I really... I'm just super impressed with what the software does and how it elevates the game. If you have a digital track, it's totally worth buying the Bluetooth adapter and jumping into some type of software. Now, I haven't done a whole lot of research on other software companies that are making timing software for slot cars. I saw this on a handful of videos on YouTube, and I just kept asking, hey, what is that app? And everybody kept referring me to Smart Race. The app is fantastic. I probably should do a video just breaking down all the things that people who use the app all the time probably don't even know that it does. Like, I posted through the app our race results for tonight so that we could all, in a text group message, talk about the first 25 laps of a 12-minute race. There was like 12 lead changes, and it was just chaos. It was so much fun. And to be able to see those stats, the software just really makes it for me. I really enjoy it. I totally recommend it. And I will probably do a breakdown video for Smart Race, the app, just because I think that is such an important piece to the hobby for me. These first few months, it's really made it a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. And the last thing that has impressed me about the hobby of slot cars is the online community. I've become a part of a few Facebook groups. I follow maybe 15 or 20 channels on YouTube. It seems like Friday evening, right after work, or right at the end of the day, seems to be when lots of people are posting content. And so now I'm looking forward to Fridays to check out that content. But the help that I've received, people who've sent me messages based on my other videos when they saw me having a problem trying to get my GT40 tuned and performing well. Like, I was overwhelmed by the people who reached out and said, "Hey, have you tried this? Hey, here's some tips." Super helpful community, and I think that every great hobby has a community around it like that, where people aren't afraid to help others and give them pointers. I know there's always going to be that magnet versus non-mag racing, and I'm not far enough into the hobby to get too concerned about stuff like that. We race magnets mainly because we can't drive yet, so it really helps make it drops the level of frustration. We usually don't have marshals, so it makes it a little easier. We stay on the track a little more, those kind of things. But the community is really kind, and they're very helpful, and there's a lot of great resources out there. A lot of people just willing to put information out there to help others enjoy the hobby as much as they do. And we've seen this big boost in the hobby recently, and I think it's because people are finding it online and finding great help, and not I've been involved in so many other hobbies where people keep all that information kind of tight to their chest and aren't willing to share. And I think that really hurts a hobby. And so that really makes slot cars a lot of fun for me. And maybe the most important thing for me is how it's allowed me and my friend John Mark and my brother Dusty, and now my dad, to spend time together, have a lot of fun, laugh, and really improve our relationships. And that might be the thing that I take home the most from this hobby, is just that time that I get back with my friends and family. So here's the 5 things. Thanks for listening. This video went on longer than I thought it would, but really enjoying this hobby. It's a lot of fun. And if you like this kind of content, I don't know, maybe this video is stupid and I'll get a bunch of thumbs down, and that's okay. I can handle that. But if you like what I'm doing, subscribe, hit the like button, check out more videos. And if you have any questions for me, put them down in the comments. Would love to know what are some of the things that you love about the sport or the hobby, and maybe your 5 things, or just one thing. That's all right. So thanks for checking out the video. Appreciate it. Have a great week of slot car racing.